Chapter 21. So we're up to, they're in the tower. We've got Spoon, we've got Nine, we've got Flabbergast, and we've got Gazillion and Eric, and they've all got to another door. So let's see where this door takes them. Nine couldn't shake the feeling that they were being led into a trap, and yet had no chance but to go on. No choice but to go on. The only way was up after all. The sands are falling. Your time will run out. Then the voice was silent. There was a door on the left, which Gazillion strutted through without hesitation. As he did so, there came the sound of a stony arm above the door, upturning an hourglass. The first thing Nine noticed as she stepped into the room was that she couldn't step very far. Just inside, a black bricked wall stretched across the span of the room from wall to wall, so high that it nearly reached the ceiling. She was squished along as she was joined by Eric, Flabbergast and Spoon. The two wizards elbowed each other with Edgley and exchanged hateful looks as they stood by each other side by side. Flabbergast reached out, prodded the wall with his little finger and stepped back nervously. Nothing happened. "It's a wall," he announced. "Ah, good job we rescued you, lad," said Spoon. "We'd be lost without your invaluable insights." "To clarify, you didn't rescue me," hissed Flabbergast. "You just found me in a very difficult situation and I was contemplating my next move." He glanced at Gazillion. Obviously, said Nine. "Onwards," said Gazillion, flicking his hair. "I'm burdened with my question." "Ah, and we're burdened with you," muttered Spoon. "Turn it, question," said Eric. "Shh," said Nine. Flabbergast and Spoon in unison as Eric clapped his hands over his mouth. His big yellow eyes blinked above his fingers. Then he slowly lowered his hands. His bark-like cheeks were blushing. "Ah, the wall's too high to climb," said Spoon, jiggling restlessly on the spot. "Never mind. Never breathe a word of this, but someone throw me over." Sorry, I can't do that in Scottish at all. "Ah, never breathe a word but someone throw me over." "I'd be delighted to volunteer," said Flabbergast pointedly. "No, it's too high, even for that," said Nine. "Come on, foolish askers. The sands are falling." "The key must be beyond this wall. We need to get over it, through it," said Nine. "I wonder—" "Only one way to make a door appear in this ridiculous tower." She walked over and kicked the wall to make herself feel better, if nothing else. But everyone stared as certain bricks then started to vanish from the bottom up, leaving a large question mark shape in the wall. It was close enough to a doorway and wide enough even for Eric to squeeze through. "Good," said Nine. "This tower deserves a good kicking." But, despite her bold words, Nine shuddered. Everything was still and silent. The purple grains in the hourglass were flowing fast. She reached inside her satchel and she clasped her music box. She longed to know, longed to ask, and they must stop the house hiccuping. Time to play. She let the music box drop through her fingers and, with unconvinced legs, she stepped through the vertical line of the question mark. A flash of a cream rectangle, a black circle filled with lines. Nine gave a yelp of surprise as the image sprang in front of her eyes. Then, a split second later, it was gone. "Madam," said Flabbergast. He poked his head through the question mark. "It's fine," said Nine. "I'm fine. Come in." She could see the black bricked walls curving round in an arc in either direction. The walls looked too long and high to fit in the tower room, and yet they were. Occasional person-width gaps broke up the solid walls, and through them Nine could see further curved walls, like a circle, within a circle, within another circle, like a labyrinth. Gazillion's head popped through the question mark behind her. His lips curled up in a sneer, as if he had just eaten one of Eric's pancakes. "It's a maze," said Flabbergast. "Ah, another brilliant deduction, lad," grumbled Spoon, as the two wizards tried to squeeze through the question mark at the same time. Gazillion popped out the other side first. A flash of cream rectangle, a black circle filled with lines. The strange image appeared again before Nine's eyes, and she gasped. I know what it is. It's a map, a map, a map of the labyrinths, she cried, looking around. Where is it? No map, said Eric, and scratched his head. Are you quite all right, madam? Nine frowned. Didn't you? There it was again. The map filled her vision, but only for the blink of an eye. The blink of an eye. Nine felt like she'd swallowed a rock as a terrible thought dropped into her mind. She blinked again. There was the map. She closed her eyes for longer. The entire map was laid out on a cream parchment, a circular labyrinth of twists and turns and dead ends. The map is inside my eyelids, said Nine, opening her eyes. Don't any of you have a map? You were first inside the maze, mortal, said Gazillion, oozing smugness. Maybe that is why you alone bear the burden of the map bearer. So if we want to see the map, said Flabbergast, you must have your eyes closed? Looks like it, doesn't it? Said Nine. She looked at the curving walls of the maze and had the horrible feeling that this was not going to go well. The sands are falling, the sands are falling, the sands are falling, your time will run out. Frustration and fear twisted together inside, Nine like the silvery strands of the world between worlds. Lady Burke, Eric tried to pull Nine back towards the question mark. Not safe. Nine shook her arm free, but she hesitated. You do not have the courage to face the maze with your eyes shut, do you, mortal? Taunted Gazillion. Whereas I, Gazillion the Unstoppable, would gladly risk my life. Aye, and I'd gladly risk your life too, muttered Spoon. Because I, continued Gazillion loudly, casting a look at Flabbergast, have a burning question. Turnip, squeaked Eric, then clasped his hands over his mouth again, as everyone, even Gazillion, glared at him. You're not the only one with questions, snapped Nine. I bet the maze won't make it easy, but I'm not afraid. She looked at Flabbergast, hoping he believed her. If we can't find out how to stop the house hiccuping, we will lose everything. Flabbergast looked at Nine, Eric and Spoon with a strange, warm expression. Not quite everything, he said quietly, and for a brief moment, as he looked at them, his eyes sparkled faintly with silver. But then he cleared his throat, and awkwardly, and at the moment passed before Nine could understand it. We are with you every step of the way, madam. Somewhere in her head, a tower laughed and chanted again. The sands are falling, the sands are falling. And the last thing Nine saw as she closed her eyes was a smile creeping across Gazillion's face. And that takes us to chapter 22. What is Gazillion smirking about? He's a bit of a dodgy character, isn't he? Do we trust him? No, I don't. Join me next time.